thought he was the best. Something was wrong with him. That's not human, man. You're not regular, man. Nigga was the devil, man. That nigga was the devil, man. For real, man.
YouTube, what's up? We are back with Crazy Story Part 3, my ex-Japanese boyfriend. Now, in this video, you might hear a bit of aggression due to the fact that I missed the Travis Scott concert Saturday, November 8th, 2025. Fuck! So instead, I'm recording this video. Seriously, I'm upset. But that has absolutely nothing to do with the video. So let's get into that. Now, before I even get into this, if you are just tuning into this channel, you might want to go watch part 1 and part 2. I advise you not to watch this video seriously, because if you just jumped in here, you're going to be confused as hell. You're going to think I'm dragging some random man for no reason, and I promise you there's context. So please go watch the first 2, catch up on the chaos, and then come back. And for the ones who already know what's up, let's talk about what went down next. Now, in part 1 and part 2, you already know about my ex, the tall, handsome Japanese man who worked in a hotel in Yokohama, spoke English, lived in Australia before, into basketball, seemed like the dream. But once we started dating, like for real, things got a little complicated. Okay, at first it was good, we went on dates, laughed a lot, had that honeymoon energy, boom. Few months in, mask started slipping. So, let's continue this chaos that this man has caused. Now, one day, me and him, or Kento, I should say, because that's what we're calling him. Now, one day, me and Kento was just chilling at my house, because, he always came to my house. I never saw his house, but that's not the point. Chilling, and, I'm just scrolling through Instagram. Now, when I have relationships, I like to laugh at memes, okay? Memes just kind of get me through my day. I like to look at them before I go to bed. I like to laugh my ass off. Okay, but whatever. So, he spoke English, and like I said, we did have the same type of humor, but he didn't always understand. So I just be laughing my ass off, and he'd be like, "What are you laughing at?" I show him the meme, it goes right over his head, and he just has something negative to say. Like, he said something like, "Oh, that's dangerous." Okay, nigga. If it wasn't funny, then just say that. So anyways, all right, no hard feelings. He didn't think it was funny, cool. So I send the meme to my friend, because my friends back home, they appreciate my fucking memes. Okay, if you're not gonna fucking appreciate my memes, my dogs are gonna fucking appreciate my memes. You know what I'm saying? So I send it to my friends, and I'm faced in a position to where like he can see my phone, he can see what's going on. I have nothing to hide, for one, and mind you, Kento did not have an Instagram. But somehow mine was the problem. So I send the meme to my friend. He was like, "Who are you sending that to? Why are you smiling?" I'm sending it to my friends, and I'm smiling because it was funny. That's the point, is what I said. So, he's starting to get skeptical and all this shit. So I show him my page, and this man went through my followers like a fucking private investigator. And he's just like, "You seem popular. A lot of guys follow you." Yeah, because I don't know, alive on the internet, and it's not like I interact with these guys. Half of these people I really don't even know. Well, what do you want me to do? Block humanity? Like, what the fuck? All right, nigga, like, they're not I'm not answering them in DMs or nothing like that, so what's the problem? And then he's going through my page, looking at the way I'm dressed and everything like that, and then he hits me with the wildest thing ever. I cannot make this up. He says, "Give me your password. I want to see who you're talking with. I want to know all social. I want to know all of your social things." And I told him, "No. You're not my husband. You do not get that pass, sir." And then he immediately loses his shit, as he did best. This man spiraled. He crashed out and was just like, see, yeah, I know you're cheating. You have so many men on your page and you're messaging them. You can't even simply give me your password. I don't have an Instagram, and I need to make sure I know all of your social. Not right, it's suspicious. This man was just packing his stuff up, and was just like, I'm leaving. I just can't deal with you right now. He was slamming doors. He just kept saying as he's packing, I'm leaving. I'm going home. I'm going back to Yokohama.
I'm done. Cut the show. I'm done. Take me off. Take me off.
Like a fucking female. Literally like a female. I'm not even joking. So he's packed his stuff, stomped around my apartment talking about, oh, you just want me to go home so you can bring a man here, and slamming doors. And as he's packing, he just kept saying, I'm going back to Yokohama. I'm leaving. And I'm just sitting there like, okay, go home then. And then he loses it even more. And he's like, yeah, you want me to go home so you can cheat, right? And I'm like, no, nigga, go home and collect yourself. Go home and log off. You would be doing both of us a favor, my nigga. And so he left, but seconds later, I got a paragraph just talking about how he can't deal with me, saying that he can't trust me, he needs space, all that victim role play. He's busy with work and he just can't handle like my stressful energy right now. And I'm just like, okay, bro, whatever, do what you gotta do. Come back to me once you get yourself collected. And if you can't do that, just don't. So then a day later, he hits my line talking about, oh, I'm sorry that I got mad the other night. I was just anxious and had some anxiety about you talking to other men, because I know men are creepy out here and I'm Japanese. And I know Japanese men can be creepy. I'm just trying to protect you. You're so beautiful and I wouldn't be getting this upset if you were an ugly girl. You're just so beautiful. Boy, if insecurity was a full-time job, bro, that is not the way. That is not the way. That is not how you go about it. Like, what is this insecurity? So anyways, at the time, I don't know where the fuck my head was. I knew it was not the way. I knew he should have handled it differently. I talked to him and I was just like, yeah, that wasn't cool, blase. And he's like, yeah, I know, it won't happen again, blah, blah, blah. And so from then on, we were cool on that. Now, mind you, here's kind of the sketchy part. Now, I never really said anything about this because like, I'm just not on that type of timing. So I never made a big deal about it, but his phone was always on do not disturb, screen turned away, and always locking it the second I walked by sometimes. Like, when somebody's trying to hide their phone. Like, if you got common sense mixed with women's intuition, when a nigga really trying to hide some shit. But I never pressed him about it because, like I said, I'm not on that type of timing. I wasn't on that type of timing then, I'm not now, and I'm not really built for that detective stress. Like, if you looking, you gonna find out, and if they doing something, you definitely gonna find out eventually. But come on, man, like when you start hiding your screen and shit like that, it's not subtle, it's so obvious. And this man actually asked me one day, he said, if I cheated on you, would you break up with me? I said, hell yes. And he's like, well, I wouldn't if you did. Sir, my nigga, with the way that you're moving, that's cap as fuck. That is cap. And that is not romance. Like, what are we talking about? That should have been the red flags of all red flags. But like a clown, I stayed. He even admitted to cheating on a past girlfriend, but claimed it was revenge cheating because she was mean and mentally abusing him. This man a bitch. But he said he changed. He's a reformed cheater. Well, he didn't say he was a reformed cheater, but basically that's what he was saying. He was a reformed cheater. What the fuck is wrong with me? Why did I stay with him after he had said that? This nigga admitted to cheating and I stayed with him. And then he's trying to accuse me of cheating. What's happening here? What's going on in this scenario? And then he's gonna try to gaslight me and say, but I don't, you don't have to worry about me cheating on me. Like, I like being with you, I don't have to cheat. You're just so beautiful. Now, in that time, even though I was stupid, my 2022, 2023 self was stupid as fuck, but I even knew that was cap. In my head, I was like, boy, shut the fuck up. But I kept it pushing. I kept it moving. Now, let's talk about the money situation because that became a whole saga itself. Now, I've always said it, men should pay for the dates. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. That's just what I believe in. That's just how I operate. I don't give a fuck about what you red pill men or men have to say or comment. I don't give a fuck, nigga. But in this situation, I also offered to pay sometimes because I'm not stingy. It became a problem when he'd pay for a date, then bring it up later that it was a problem. At first, he'd pay for everything. I appreciated that. Then out of nowhere, he starts guilt tripping me about it. One week, he's saying I got it. And then the next week, he's complaining. One night, we got back from a date and he just goes quiet and he's sighing and huffing and puffing all over the place. So I'm asking him, what's wrong? And I know this was pointed. I'm not that dumb. I know this was pointed. He's like, oh, I'm just really running tight on money this month, I'm working all these shifts at the hotel and I just feel like, I'm not really pulling in and stacking up the money like I should be. And, we go out on all these dates, this, that, and the third. I just don't know what I'm gonna do. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm sorry, but you do know I offer to pay for the dates sometimes. And you always tell me no. And then his argument was, well, yeah, but you said you wanted to go to this place, so I figured that I should take you and I should pay for it. You're always suggesting where you want to go and what you want to do. And I'm like, you ask me, nigga, you ask me. And then it just turns into an argument. He argues that he's always paying for the dates. Even though I offered sometimes, he just tried to downplay it. And I was just like, okay. How about a compromise? If you're running so tight on money, we can do this, okay? We've been dating for a while now. If you buy the food, I'll cook it because your ass can't cook. You can't cook, so I'll be the one to cook it. You just buy it. And he was like, okay, and agreed. But then once again, even that turned into some kind of argument. He always found an argument in somewhere. He was a type of person to bring something up, to use it for an argument, to hold it over your head. So he would just argue about how he had to pay for the food. Mind you, this motherfucker was in my house all the time at one point and was paying no bills. I'm talking, he would go to work from my house and come back to my house from work. Like, we actually lived together because he did have one of my spare keys. He did have a spare key, but paid for no bills, no nothing, and wanted to complain about having to buy groceries so that I can cook so he don't have to pay for no damn dates. Like, sir, you're paying no bills and you got the audacity to complain about paying for dates and paying for groceries when you ain't doing shit around here and you're practically living here. Like, I remember one day he came back from work to my apartment that I pay rent in. And he's like, oh wow, it's really clean in here. Thank you for cleaning. Nigga, what the fuck do you mean thank you for cleaning my apartment? Nigga, I pay bills here. You just stay here sometimes. You don't even live here and you got the audacity to be like, how delusional are you to be like, thank you for cleaning? Nigga, you don't pay shit here. Nigga, I live here. Like, you cannot be a guest and a landlord at the same time. And then he tried to use the argument, well, I come all the way from Yokohama to see you. Mind you, Yokohama, I mean, if you live in Tokyo, you know that Yokohama and Tokyo really ain't that damn far, depending on where you live. So it's not like this motherfucker was coming from Osaka or Hokkaido or something. You live in Yokohama. You are right next door. Spare me. Now, the real chaos is when, if you've been watching this channel, you know Not Me, My Friend used to work in Tokyo nightlife. Now, in the beginning of dating, I told my ex that Not Me, My Friend, because you are who you hang out with. So it was not me doing the doing. It was my friend working, in the Tokyo nightlife. First a bunny girl turned regular girls bar. And he said he had no problem with Not Me, My Friend working there. That ended up being the biggest cap of a lifetime. Now let's get into the job. I've talked about the bunny girl job a lot, but we're going to talk about the girls bar job that she did. So the manager of the girls bar, as I explained in part 2, was young, around her age, funny, chill, and just doing his job. But I think he did hire her with an intention because he did give some vibes that he was into her. He was pretty young for his job title. To be the Tencho, the manager, he was pretty young. like 22 years old. Now, working at this bar, Not Me, My Friend did have a lot of fun. She really had no complaints about it, just about the customers. And, you know, the manager, she kept it P. It was never any flirting, anything like that. He knew that she had a boyfriend. But my ex, he swore that this man being my manager, wanted Not Me, My Friend. And just every time I came back from the job, he would just be like, so what happened? What happened? What did you do last night? What did you do last night? And I would have to give him a report. Like, I already had to give reports at my job, like my regular day job. So I had to report to this nigga too, give this nigga a daily report of what the fuck I'm doing at my other job when I'm just working and trying to get my fucking money up. And also, if I didn't answer his call during my shift, this nigga would call mid-shift. If I did that, nigga, my head would be on a stick. He called me mid-shift a lot of the times. And if I did not answer, the next day it was war. He would be like, who were you with? Did you flirt with the customer? Sir, this is customer service. This is literally my job. He knew about it. He already knew what it was when he got in a relationship with me. And he did know about Dohan. So Dohan is, you go out to dinner with a customer and then you bring them back to the bar. And he pretended to be chill about it at first, but then later used it against Not Me, My Friend, saying, oh, you're just going on dates with clients. You know, I know that you're cheating and da 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 da. The Instagram, the this, the that, the blah 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 blah. And it just came to a point where I was defeated. I could not defend this. And even if I invited him to Not Me, My Friend's job, he would still just find an argument somewhere. Okay, so after a while, you know, of course, Not Me, My Friend had to stop going on the Dohans. She had to turn them down because it got chaotic. It really just had got to a point, but that messed with her bag.
If I don't make at least $5,000 in a day, that's bad for me.
Because those Dohans is really what got the money up. If you go on a Dohan and you bring that customer back that same day after that date, your money goes up. You get extra money from that, like from the customer side and the store's side. So Not Me, My Friend had to stop going on her extra bag dates, and that fucked up her bag. And then this nigga had wanted to complain about he's not getting his money up and he's having to pay for dates and everything like that. What the fuck am I with this nigga for? Anyways, let's get back into the story. So then it came to my manager of that store. Now, once again, he was young, around my age, friendly, and the type who joked a lot. Nothing inappropriate, just a lot of workplace banter. He was a very, very lively guy. Is a very, very lively guy. He's still alive. But my boyfriend, he hated that man with a passion. Okay, like Not Me, My Friend could not be around no niggas. And I really had to just keep reminding him that, yo, that's my manager. This is literally my job, because like my manager would have to text me to confirm shifts and all this other stuff. He would have to message Not Me, My Friend about a lot of things, and Kento really had a problem with that. And then it got to a point. One night, of course, you know, because it always happens on a random night, Not Me, My Friend gets back home. He's there and giving him the nightly report, all this stuff, and randomly he just gives Not Me, My Friend an ultimatum. It's either me or the job, because I don't like you working there. You're around a bunch of men, blah 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 blah, and I know that you and your manager have something going on. Now I'm gonna pause right here with the me and my manager had something going on thing. In the previous video, I did tell you that Not Me and My Friend at the bunny bar with her Satchel, there was a touchy-feely situation that happened, but that happened before I had got with Kento, but at the girls bar, Not Me My Friend's manager did have some feelings for her, but he knew that she had a boyfriend. He did respect that. He respected that as much as he could, but I cannot cap at this point. Me and Kento were getting into a lot of fights. I mean, a lot, just like from his part alone, because there was a lot of insecurities. He didn't believe me a lot of the times. He would complain about a lot of things. It got to a point, you know, like, I'm no cheater. I do not cheat. I did not cheat on this man. When it came to Not Me My Friend's manager and just her being at the girls bar, it gave her a refreshing energy, especially from a man who had shown some interest in her, but then did respect that she was with somebody, but he didn't take no for an answer. And when I say this, I don't mean it in a forceful way. I mean it to the point where he kept showing interest, and even though he knew Not Me and My Friend had a boyfriend, he wasn't on no salty shit. He still treated her the same, still joked with her the same, and all of that. And that itself was just so refreshing. And yeah, sometimes he did message me things that was not about work, but it wasn't anything inappropriate. It would just be like, you know, I hope that this job isn't affecting your day job. I hope you're doing good today. If you ever need help with anything, let me know. He was just trying to be a good manager and a good friend at the same time. But I am not gonna cap YouTube. I was gravitated toward the energy that my manager was giving me, and I didn't really know how to interpret this energy. I knew that I had to, you know, I knew that I had to control my emotions. So I always kept it P with him. I always kept it professional. I never saw him outside of work. Okay, that is where I would draw the line. Of course, you know, I had the dohans with the customers, but those would be like, of course, men that I was not interested in. My manager, I'm not gonna cap, I did have a slight interest in him, okay, because he wasn't a bad looking guy. He was up to par. He was up there around the same age, and we vibed, and he wasn't giving me no drama. Can you really blame me for that, YouTube? Can you blame me, or am I a hoe? You let me know. But anyways, let's circle back to old crazy ass Kento. So one night I come home, I'm giving a nightly report. I'm telling him how much fun Not Me My Friend had, and I remember that night was a really big night because they had like a champagne call and everything like that. It was just a night where a lot of the girls, including Not Me My Friend, had made a lot of money. Then he gets upset because he's just like, no, you made that money by some other means. I know you did. You were doing the Dohan thing again, blah 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 blah. You look way too happy right now. I'm so serious, YouTube. He said you look way too happy right now. You did something else. You just did something else. And I'm like, no, I didn't. And Not Me My Friend literally had videos on her phone of that night of what happened. Not Me My Friend didn't do shit but have a good time and make money by talking to niggas and just talking and drinking. I came home that night, didn't I? So why the fuck am I wrong? And then he gave me an ultimatum. He said, it's either me or the job, because I just can't trust you working at this job. You come back with the smile on your face that I never see when you're with me. And you know, with that being said, and what I just told you, YouTube, about the vibes that my manager was giving me and everything like that, I didn't back down.
Hell no. What did you say? Hell no.
I said no. I said I'm keeping this job. It makes me money, and I'm already losing money because you made me quit one part of the job. So I'm not quitting this job for you. You too. Now when I said that, guess what he did? Now do you think he hugged me and said, it's okay baby, I was out of line, keep your little job, make your bag, it's all good? Or do you think it was the latter, B, he lost his shit?
I said hell.
No, Miss Sophia. No, Miss Sophia, no!
You guessed it. Hell no, it wasn't A, it was B. This nigga started yelling. He was in my face, calling me names no man has ever called me. Let me tell you, he was yelling, calling me out of my name, saying I couldn't speak Japanese for shit, saying that I was ran through, and he called me a bitch. YouTube, he called me a bitch. Now listen, YouTube, never have I ever been called such foul language. I have never been called a bitch. No black man has ever called me out of my name, okay? Like, even when me and my man got in the arguments back in the day, no black man has ever called me out of my name. No man has ever called me a bitch, a hoe in America. Never. So I was so taken aback by the fact that somebody even had the gall, like a man even had the gall to call me that. So I'm standing here like, nigga, who the fuck, who are you even right now? He's yelling all over the place, slamming doors. I'm surprised that I have not gotten a noise complaint. But you know what? Luckily, my apartment, it didn't have like thin walls. It was made of concrete, not wood. I lived in a mansion. But I mean, still, by the rate that he was going, you would think that they would hear something. He was slamming doors, stormed out, and after that, he just left. And that silence after he left hit hard. Okay, we did not talk for days. And I would say after a couple days, maybe 3 or 4 days, he hit my phone up with the classic apology. But that night really did stuck with me, because I had never seen someone flip to I love you energy to you're trash energy that fast on me. So I didn't leave him on red, but I left him on unread, because neither one of us didn't say we were breaking up with either. But I mean, like, come on, man. Like, I needed more than a week to process what just had happened to me, because I was actually scared that night. He was slamming, yelling in my face, calling me names. And mind you, he's big. He's like 184 centimeters. I'm not tall at all. I'm on the shorter end of things. I'm like what? I'm like 152 centimeters. Okay, yes, I like basketball, but I'm short. Okay, shut up. But anyways, we didn't talk for days. I left him on unread, and you know what? That kind of quiet, it just eats at you. So I'm still processing everything. A few nights later, I'm not me, my friend. She's working at the girls' bar, just minding her own business, having a good old night. She's at the counter, and somebody walks in, and she recognizes this man's face. Now, guess who it was? Yep, he pulled up. Kento pulled up to not me, my friend's night job. How did he even know she worked there? Let's just say that's where the story really begins. So buckle up for part 4, because it's about to get even crazier. See you, YouTube. Bye.